The collision was not working on the finish line in the last video was foolishly I forgot to check the grouping for my bird. It was set to actors when it should have been set to players. So always double check the groups after you make your collisions. So now that we're here, we're going to fine tune the finish line collision here. So on our level, what we are going to do is set up a collision that we already did as follows. Now to get this set up, I'm going to hide this. We're going to recreate it from scratch. So we're going to add the collision, actor of type, so you can see how this is done. And we're taking the bird, choosing our actor. And what we want to do is our game attributes, we need to also create a Boolean game attribute. And we can call this online or something that represents touching the line and make it a Boolean. And our initial value we will say is true. Alright. Now I'm going to look back here to refresh my memory. And what we're going to say is if the finish line points is true, so in our sense here we're saying if we are online equals true, so what this means is that if we are actually, if the bird is on or crossing the line, then we are going to increment our score here. Okay, so switch to the setters. Now we can build this out. Set score to score. We need the plus sign. We've already created this. Alright, so only if we are on that line exactly do we get 1 point. And you'll see, as soon as we get the 1 point, we want to set the finish line, the on-line, to false. Oops, that's right here in our setters for our game attributes. So set the on-line to false. What this is saying is as soon as we touch the finish line 1 time, we are on the line and we are immediately off the line. We get 1 point and then it turns off. Otherwise, instead of getting 1 point for every fraction of a second that we're on that line, we're going to be getting points. Now, the other thing you want to make sure is that the finish line that you create, we've already set that up. And level 1, when it says create finish lines, underneath the create, you want to set the online points to true. So we would have set online to true. So yours would look something like this, or like that, whatever you decide to name your attribute. So yours will be on here. And I'm sorry, make sure that this word, you don't type it in. Go to the Boolean and select the true icon, okay? Now let's test the game. So you can see that there's always a lot of troubleshooting going on, and sometimes these codes are hard to remember at first. But at this stage, you should have an idea of how things work. So now it is true, false, we get 1 point. About to get 1 point, it's true and false, 1 point. And now it is working properly. So if you have tested your game prior to adding the Boolean, each time you pass through the finish line, you would end up with anywhere between 12 and 28 points or some number like that.